First of all, tell me who you are and what you do.
My name's Leilani Munter, and I'm a biologist turned race car driver and environmental activist.
So, you've been an environmentalist for a long time.
I have. That part of my life really came before the racing. And then, started to realize that I could use my voice as a driver to sort of reach out to this group of race fans that's, not a typical group that's being talked to about our environmental issues.
So, you've been spending some time down in the Gulf.
I have. I spent a week down there at the beginning of May, and I was out in boats that were 75 miles away from where the Deepwater Horizon sank, and I was in crude oil, and I could see it for as far as the horizon went in both directions.
Tell me about what it was like going through a sea of that. What did it smell like, and what did it look like?
Well, there were two different types of oil that we came across. One was, it looked sort of cloudy in the water, and that was the oil that had already been coated by the core exit, the toxic chemical dispersant that they're using to bind to the oil and make it sink into the water column. The other kind that I saw, which actually I have some of it here, I took a little bit of it home with me, is the really, this is the oxidized crude oil that was floating on the top. This is what I could see from, one horizon to the other. It was all over the place. It's very thick and goopy. I don't know how well you can see it in the bag, but you can kind of squish it around. It's very thick, and it's floating in clumps. And, it was as far as the eye could see.
Any birds or fish or anything?
We did see some dead fish, and we videotaped actually some turtles that were feeding right around the oil, and we saw fish feeding underneath. Since then, I've been in contact. Just last week, I talked to one of the boat captains that took me out on the boats, and he saw 6 dead dolphins and 10 dead turtles.
What do you think the lessons are of this?
My biggest hope is that this is a wake-up call, that this is something that's so monumental and is going to have such a huge impact on our environment and our economy. All those fishermen that don't have jobs anymore. So I hope that this is our wake-up call to really, put our energy into creating, renewable energy that's made here in the U.S., investing in wind turbines and solar power and tidal turbines, and all of these technologies that are already available to us. We just, we really are kind of falling behind in the U.S. as far as renewable energy goes. And this is the wake-up call that we really need to change the way we're living on the planet. We cannot continue to do it the way that we've been doing it. It doesn't work, and it's not safe.
Have the crowds started swelling and the sponsors started wanting to pay for your car more? And have you started to see a grassroots group of people starting to come towards environmental issues, sort of like the way the environmental issue was born from the 1972, oil spill off of Santa Barbara? And do you see anything like that happening now, or no?
I guess, I have had a lot of support from the race fans. They're definitely writing to me and communicating with me. I've been posting a lot of updates about the oil spill through my Facebook and my Twitter and on my websites as well. And I've seen a really positive response. You've seen these organizations pop up online, the boycott BPs and all these kinds of things. So I think it is waking some people up, but of course not everybody. So I guess what we have to hope is that the majority of people see this as, okay, this is not working, and we do need to change the way that we're doing things. This is something that is so urgent that we cannot take our time on this issue. We really need to make quick changes, and I just hope that happens. We have to start now.
Are you an optimist for the future?
I try to be an optimist for the future. I think it's difficult as an environmentalist that pays attention to all of the difficulties and the environmental challenges, the huge environmental challenges that we have. I did have a moment where I just broke down and where it was really hitting me, where I was seeing, I was in the oil and I was actually seeing it with my own 2 eyes, and it hits you in a way that I don't think it can hit you in pictures or on television. And I did feel kind of hopeless.
You have to keep just being committed to doing good things. There's no other choice. Well, thanks for talking to me, Leilani.
Yeah, thanks for having me.